Hello guys, this week on this channel we've been talking about Filament version 3 new features. And this will be the last video because I thought if I talk about each feature individually it will be a few more weeks and it will be a very long stretch of videos. But this channel is not about Filament specifically. Maybe at some point I should create Filament daily or something like that. But I want to get back to Laravel. So in this video, we will wrap up the rest of kind of the main new features, new things in version 3, which I haven't covered in other videos, and I will link in the description below all the links for you to read more. So in the official release blog post in the community of Filament PHP, what they emphasize. One of those is action models everywhere. And what do they really mean? Actions and models existed before version 3. But in version 3, actions are specifically a separate entity in the docs, which means you can add action to any of your Livewire component even without using Filament actions. So if you want to have a button with some action, you don't necessarily have to create a Filament form or a Filament table. For example, you can have Livewire component with has actions and then perform action make in your Livewire component. And this is actually a common logic in all the Filament. Filament behind the scenes is Livewire, and Livewire behind the scenes is Laravel. So in Filament, you can do all the things that Laravel can and Livewire can. That's what makes it pretty flexible for customizations and custom things in general. So actions is a good example. To be honest, while reading the docs and while shooting my course about Filament 3, action is a very broad concept which is all over the docs in various concepts and various contexts. So there's filament action, there's table action, and then bulk action and other stuff. So for you to understand all of that, I would advise to read the docs about actions specifically, and then find the places in the docs where actions are used in the context of tables and others, and then you would get the full picture of possibilities. Some of the things could be improved in the docs, and in the future I will probably make a few pull requests here and there, but in version 3 concept of action is much broader now. Another thing which was improved in version 3, which they emphasize in the official announcement, is improved theme customization with CSS, with colors and typography. It's a very broad topic on its own, and I will shoot videos about that in the future. In fact, this is the next section that I will work on with my Filament 3 core course. I jokingly call it look and feel of Filament, so I will talk about that in the course a little more. But for you to understand what has been done, for example, you can easily customize the colors in the configuration of the panel, and those colors are easier to customize. They are based on Tailwind customizing colors this panel, so without any recompiling of npm something, you can use colors from Tailwind easier. Also, it's easier to work with fonts, create custom theme, and more customizations related to front end, how it looks. And I've heard that Zep, the core team member of Filament, is working on theming stuff, so I expect something to be released more officially in upcoming months, something like pre-built themes or something like that. But in version 3, they generally make it easier to customize how Filament looks. And if we quickly browse around the and more section in the official release announcement, what are other features? Authentication features like registration, password reset and stuff like that, easily customizable. Then image editor, markdown editor, tabs, widgets, blade library, and even more things under the hood that are not mentioned here. So pretty big release of version 3. The final point that I want to discuss, whether it's worth to upgrade. If you have a version 2 project, Filament 2, is it worth, and how easy it is to upgrade to version 3? First, before the how, let's discuss the why. Why would I want to upgrade? If your project is planning to release more new features, which is likely that you would want to use new features which will be added only in Filament 3, then it's better for you to upgrade to use just new features of Filament 3. If you have specific features in mind, like you want to use info lists, like you want to create second panel, multiple panels, then it's worth upgrading. But version 2 is still gonna be out and running. It's not going to be shut down or anything. So if your project just works and you're not planning new features, then it's debatable whether it's worth your time to upgrade. But if you do want to upgrade, they have upgrade guide from 2.x, and they even have the tool. So there's Compose Require Filament Upgrade, which will guide you through the process. It's mostly just about moving things around here and there, renaming some classes, how are they called, because now we have multiple providers, multiple panels. Some things should be renamed into panel something or filament something. So there are not that many breaking changes, but they would be all over your filament resources in a repeating way. And also think about plugins. If you use Filament plugins, please check their docs if they are upgraded and support Filament 3. I have asked my colleague Nerius to perform that upgrade on version 2 older course of Filament, which is available on laraveldaily.com, which has 4 or 5 Filament resources from what I remember, and it marked 45 files changed, mostly, as I said, renaming of the stuff, like tables table instead of resources table, like section instead of card here and there, like renaming the type hinting of some methods and variables. So it's your choice whether to upgrade or not. To be honest, while looking at the official Filament Discord, I was expecting many more questions specifically about upgrade, but it seems like majority of people start using Filament 3 on new projects, and majority of the questions are how to do something in Filament 3 with changed syntax or changed functionality somewhere. If you have any trouble with upgrade, go on the official Filament Discord and ask around. The core team and the community, like myself, are happy to help. So yeah, this is Filament 3. What do you think overall about that new release? Let's wrap up this week with commenting in general, so you can share your opinion in the comments below. Will you use it? Will you upgrade from version 2? What are the things maybe missing? Any feedback is welcome, and I will keep shooting new videos about Filament, new tutorials, new demos, especially with version 3. There are so many new things to talk about, including a thing I've launched just this week on laraveldaily.com. So currently the plan is that every Thursday I release something like this, a digest this week in Filament. At first I thought to create a separate newsletter or even YouTube channel for that, but for now, at least for now, it will be a weekly digest of what happened in Filament over the last week. So my own tips from Twitter and elsewhere, and also tutorials from the community that I see, and also new features of the official releases, which are happening almost every day. To get that weekly digest, the best way is to subscribe to the newsletter, my weekly newsletter that I send every Thursday, so the link is on top of laraveldaily.com and in the description of this video below. And also follow me on Twitter at Pavelos. I tweet a lot about Filament over the last weeks, and I will keep doing that for the foreseeable future for now. I receive so many questions about Filament specifically, not about Laravel only, that I will spend quite a lot of time on Filament specifically for a while. But this channel is still Laravel Daily, so from tomorrow we get back to Laravel topics. A few videos already scheduled ahead for that, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and see you guys in those other videos.